3 weeks after my manager gave me $1 and almost $10,000 to her smiling golden intern, the entire upper management of North River Consulting was leaving desperate messages on my phone. I stood in my kitchen staring at the screen as new alerts stacked over the old ones. One voicemail played automatically, the tone clipped with panic. "Maren, please come back. We are falling apart. Call us immediately." I did not return the call. Hearing my name spoken like that pulled me straight back to the moment everything started to crack. It was the quarterly bonus meeting, the kind everyone dreaded but pretended to welcome. I sat at the long table beside analysts I had mentored for years. The air felt stale with forced optimism. Dana Lattimore, our division manager, lifted her tablet and tapped the screen as if preparing to deliver a groundbreaking announcement. "All right," she said, projecting cheerfulness. "This quarter, $1 of the bonus goes to Maren Holt, and the remaining $9,999 go to David Rowan." For 1 second, the room froze exactly the way my chest did. Then chatter filled the silence. Chairs shifted. Someone muttered, "Is that serious?" Another analyst shot me a sympathetic look before lowering her eyes. David blinked rapidly, then forced a smile so wide it shook. "Thank you, Dana," he said, his voice cracking from nerves or disbelief. "I really appreciate this." He glanced at me like he wanted permission to be happy. I didn't give him anything but a nod. Dana waited for my reaction, her lips tight, hiding something she assumed I would not notice. I could feel the weight of everyone's eyes pressing on my shoulders. 4 years of impossible projects, weekend rescues, and quiet victories collapsed into a single humiliating sentence. I closed my laptop softly, stood, and said, "Congratulations, David." Then I walked out of the room without hurrying, without trembling, without letting a single word of protest slip out. Silence was all I had, and at that moment, it felt sharper than anything I could have said. None of them knew that something had already begun to shift the moment I reached the hallway door. David caught up to me near the elevators that afternoon, still glowing from the bonus meeting. "Maren, I hope you're not upset," he said, shifting from foot to foot. "I mean, I did not expect any of that. You do not owe me an explanation," I replied. "Enjoy your moment." He hesitated. "I just want to do well here. Dana says I have potential." "She tells you that often." David laughed under his breath. "Almost every day. She says I remind her of someone she knew when she first started in the industry." He paused. "She believes in me." His sincerity stung more than the words. He genuinely believed this was merit. When the elevator doors opened, 2 analysts stepped out quickly, their voices hushed. "Lunch again." With only him, one whispered, "If I said anything, she'd write me up." The other murmured. They went silent when they saw me. I nodded politely, and both walked off as if caught committing a crime. Later, in the break room, I overheard Dana's laugh ripple through the corridor. "David, you should have seen their faces. They did not expect you to win by such a margin." Her tone was playful, intimate, nothing like the clipped professionalism she used with the rest of us. David replied softly, "I still think Maren deserved something more substantial." "And yet," Dana said, "this is how leadership works. Timing, presence, visibility." Her meaning was pointed. I took my tea and headed back to my desk. Moments later, a message popped up on my screen from Lila, one of our senior analysts. "Come to my desk. Now." I walked over. She turned her monitor slightly so only I could see. "I should not be showing you this," she whispered, "but you deserve to know." On the screen was the internal bonus ranking. My name sat firmly at the top. A red strike-through crossed it out. Under it, a timestamp. Under that, a single annotation. "Final decision by D. Lattimore. Replace with D. Rowan." Lila swallowed. She did it manually. Maren. She wanted him to win. I stared at the screen. No anger rising, only a quiet, steady understanding settling into place. When I returned to my desk, the bonus list still lingered in my mind like a bruise being pressed. 4 years at North River had built a thick skin on me, but some wounds sank deeper. I remembered my first year, when a major software client threatened to terminate a contract worth more than $200,000. Their project manager had yelled over the phone, demanding someone competent enough to fix months of incompetence. I stayed 3 nights in a row, eating vending machine crackers while rewriting their entire delivery plan. When the crisis was finally resolved, Dana emailed the team. "Great save. Everyone." I had replied, "Glad it worked out." Her response was instant. "Stay humble. Maren. Be a team player." I remembered rebuilding the Celadon account after their executives sent a complaint naming 3 analysts, none of whom were me. I scheduled weekly calls, soothed their concerns, and turned the relationship around. At the quarterly meeting, Dana congratulated the group. "You all stepped up," she said. No one corrected her. That phrase had followed me for years. Let others shine. I had believed it. I had even repeated it to new hires. My father in Salem used to tell me, "Hard work never disappears." Maren, someone will always see it. It was a gentle, hopeful lie that I held on to longer than I should have. As I replayed his voice in my head, another memory surfaced, sharper than the rest. 3 months earlier, Dana presented our annual strategy deck to the executive board. I had spent 2 weekends building the analysis, crafting every slide. When I walked into the meeting late from a client call, I heard her say, "David pulled this together in record time. Impressive work." David was not even in the building that day. After the meeting, I asked quietly, "Why did you say he made the deck?" Dana barely looked up. "Visibility matters more than accuracy. You will understand one day." Her words had stung then. Now they echoed with an entirely different clarity. The morning after the bonus meeting, I walked into the office expecting awkward silence. Instead, David nearly jogged toward me, clutching a stack of printouts. "Maren, do you have a second? Dana wants me to review these projections, but I am not sure which model she prefers." I kept my voice steady. "She will tell you." He hesitated. "She said you would know. You are the one receiving almost $10,000. I said softly, "You tell me." His cheeks flushed. "Right. I guess I should figure it out." Dana appeared behind him, smiling too brightly. "Maren, I hope there are no hard feelings. These decisions are bigger than any of us." "I understand," I replied, "completely." Her smile faltered, as if she sensed something she could not name. David lingered awkwardly until she waved him along. Later that day, I overheard them speaking near the stairwell. David's voice carried first. My Aunt Dana said he stopped abruptly when my footsteps echoed. Dana's tone sharpened. "Careful!" I stepped past them. "Do not worry. I already assumed you two were close." Dana answered quickly. "We are not. We simply share professional alignment." David stared at the floor, guilt written across his face even if he did not say a word. I returned to my desk and sat for a long moment, letting the pieces slide into place. It was not merit. It was not timing. It was not visibility. It was blood, obligation, family, something I could never compete with. No matter how many accounts I saved or how many crises I swallowed alone, confronting them would only make me look reactive, emotional, unprofessional. The role they expected me to play was silent reliability, the one who cleaned the mess without recognition. So I let the expectation fall away, quietly and completely, the way an overburdened beam finally stops holding the ceiling. On Monday, I packed my bag at 5:28 and waited for the clock to tick. When it hit 5:30 exactly, I stood up. David glanced over. "You are leaving already." "I am leaving on time," I said. He blinked, confused. "Right. Of course. As I walked out, Dana called after me. Maren, could you take a look at the Ridgewell account tonight? They flagged a data discrepancy. I will review it tomorrow, I replied, during work hours. Her voice tightened. It is time sensitive. So is my evening. Her expression froze as I stepped into the hallway. By Wednesday, 3 different analysts had asked if I could help troubleshoot delayed deliverables. I cannot. I said each time, my workload is full. No explanation. No apology. Just the truth I had never allowed myself to say out loud. On Friday night, my phone buzzed at 9, then 9:15, then 9:42. I placed it face down and made tea. For the first time in years, I slept through a weekend without checking a single email. When I opened my inbox Monday morning, the subject line at the top read, Urgent Ridgewell Escalation. Inside was a forwarded message from the client to Donna. We have been waiting 3 days for a response. This level of delay is unacceptable for an account of our size. Below it, Donna had written to me. Her sentences clipped Maren. Why did this sit unanswered? I need an immediate status update. I typed calmly. Dana. I trust the team handled everything appropriately. I was not assigned this request. If you would like me to take it now, I can begin during regular hours today. Within minutes, she appeared beside my desk. Maren, I did not realize how much of that account depended on you. I have been supporting it quietly for years. I said, perhaps the documentation will help the team take over. She opened her mouth, then closed it again, as if the reality of that sentence had finally landed somewhere she could feel it. The silence I used to fill was widening, and its edges were starting to scrape. 2 days after the Ridgewell escalation, David stopped by my desk holding a notebook thick with color-coded tabs. Maren, could you maybe walk me through those forecasting models again? He asked quietly. Dana says I should develop faster. I nodded. Come by the conference room at 3. I will give you some advanced material. At 3 o'clock sharp. He appeared with eager eyes and a pen already uncapped. I drew a simple diagram on the whiteboard. This is the behavioral weighted projection. It only works if you understand the historical drift patterns behind it. He frowned. I thought it was just a formula. It is 10% formula, I said. 90% judgment. For an hour. I led him through layers he had never seen, multi-year variance histories, undocumented client preferences, subtle decision-making cues. He took notes furiously, nodding as though understanding would magically arrive if he wrote quickly enough. This is incredible, he said breathlessly. Dana said you were the best at this. She is correct, I replied, letting the truth rest plainly between us. The next morning, Dana intercepted him before he even reached his desk. David, she said brightly, I am assigning you to the Longford Systems account. They need a projected rollout plan by Friday. It is the perfect opportunity for you to shine. His face paled. Friday. That is only 3 days. You can do it, she insisted. You are ready. When she walked off, he looked at me helplessly. Maren, do you think you have the notes? I said gently. Apply what you learned. By Wednesday afternoon, the trouble began. I think I misread one of their requirements, he whispered, standing beside my chair. They asked for clarification 3 hours ago. I did not know how to respond. Another message popped up on his screen. This one flagged as critical. Your delay is creating severe risk for our timeline. That evening, I overheard Dana on a tense call. No, Longford, this is not typical. We are handling it. Her voice trembled. We will resolve this immediately. For the first time, she did not sound confident. The cracks were widening, and they were pointing directly back to her golden choice. By Thursday morning, the floor buzzed with clipped voices and hurried footsteps. 2 major clients sent formal notices to Dana's inbox within minutes of each other, each one warning that their contracts would be paused if operational inconsistencies continued. Dana appeared beside my desk not long after. Her smile stretched so tight it looked painful. "Maren, do you have a moment? I am in the middle of a deliverable?" I said. She lowered her voice. "We could really use your expertise right now. Longford is escalating again, and Brantwell Systems just called demanding a full audit." I nodded slowly. "I hope the team resolves it. I am fully committed to my current assignments." Her composure slipped. "You do not understand. This is not a typical slowdown. It is a pileup." "I understand very clearly," I replied. "But my workload is at capacity." She opened her mouth to argue, then shut it when a notification flashed on her phone. Her face drained. "Across the room," Lila whispered. "HR just asked for escalation logs." "All of them," another analyst responded shakily. "That fast. They never step in unless something is seriously off." Dana spun toward David. "I need you to finalize the Longford plan today." He looked stricken. "Dana, I am trying, but the timelines do not make sense. I do not have Maren's. Do not bring Maren into this," she snapped. "Just finish it." I watched as David returned to his desk, shoulders caving. A minute later, he stood again and approached the senior consultant team. "Can one of you help me interpret this requirement?" he asked. They exchanged glances. One sighed. "Dana told us to drop everything and support your work. So, give it here." The tension thickened with every passing hour. Rushed voices, muttered complaints, the sharp rustle of assignments being shoved from one desk to the next. None of it was angry, just exhausted, strained, breaking. By late afternoon, Dana returned to her office and closed the door, something she never did unless she was afraid of being watched. The unraveling had begun, and everyone felt where the loose thread led. Late that evening, after a day packed with tension and frantic whispers, I stepped outside to clear my head. My phone buzzed with a new voicemail. The transcription preview showed a name I had not seen in years. Apex Meridian Strategies. I pressed play. "Hello? Maren. This is Clara Benson from Apex. We met during your interview 3 years ago. I know the timing is unexpected, but several of our enterprise clients have mentioned your work recently. We would like to talk. Call me back." I stood still, the cool air wrapping around me as if waiting for my reaction. When I called, Clara answered on the first ring. "Maren Holt. I have been hoping you would reach out. I am surprised you remembered me." I said. "We never forgot you. One of North River's largest accounts told us last week, and I quote, 'If you hire Maren Holt, we will follow her.' That is not something we hear often." Her words sank in slowly, like warmth returning to a numb limb. "Maren, we would like to make an offer," Clara continued. "A transparent salary structure, a 45% increase from your current range, performance bonuses tied strictly to measurable impact, full remote flexibility, and equity in our long-term software strategy portfolio. You would lead a team, not cover one." I let out a breath I had not realized I was holding. "That is generous. It is overdue," she replied, "and we are prepared to move quickly. Our leadership wants you in Seattle next week. If travel is an issue, we will fly to Portland. The speed, the confidence, the respect. Every part of it contrasted painfully with the place I walked into each morning," Clara added softly. "Just say yes to a conversation. Nothing more." I agreed to meet with them the next day. The moment I ended the call, something inside me shifted so sharply I could feel it like a locked door opening after years of quiet knocking. I printed my resignation letter before sunrise and walked into the office carrying nothing but my laptop and the envelope. At 8 o'clock sharp, I knocked on Dana's door. She looked up with a tight smile. "Morning, Maren. I hope you got some rest because we have a lot to." "I am resigning," I said, placing the envelope on her desk. She stared at it as if it were something alive. "You are joking." "I am not." Her voice jumped an octave. "Maren, wait. We can fix the bonus." We can reevaluate your responsibilities. If you want a new title, say the word. Just tell me what you want. I want respect. I replied, and that is not something you can retroactively give. She stood abruptly. You cannot leave now. Do you understand what we are dealing with? 3 analysts asked for salary reviews yesterday. A senior consultant told me she would walk if things do not change. And 2 clients asked for you by name this morning. You cannot just abandon us. I am not abandoning anyone. I said, I am simply choosing not to stay. Her mouth worked silently, as if forming arguments she knew would not matter. Finally, she sank into her chair. HR wants an exit interview immediately. She murmured, I will speak with them. I said, I will answer every question plainly. The interview took 10 minutes. No anger, no accusations, just dates, facts, timelines, and a quiet pattern that spoke louder than anything I could have scripted. When I returned to my desk to pack, David appeared in the doorway, wringing his hands. Maren, I think I was put in a role I was not ready for. He said, I did not want it to happen like this. I am sorry. I met his eyes. Thank you. That means something. He nodded, defeated but sincere, and stepped aside as I lifted my bag. I walked out slowly, not looking back, feeling the weight of what was ending and what was only beginning to unravel behind me. 3 weeks after I walked out of North River, the messages began pouring in. First, a cautious text. Maren, can we talk? Then a voicemail from an unfamiliar director. Please return for a temporary contract. We need you back. Urgently. By the end of the week, I had 6 more. Their tone shifted from hopeful to frantic, then from frantic to resigned. I listened to every message once, then archived them. At Apex, Clara stopped by my new workstation one morning with a folder. Just so you know, she said lightly, North River is undergoing a full internal audit. 3 client escalations in 1 week triggered an automatic review. What did they find? I asked. A lot, she replied. Misallocated responsibilities, improper documentation, and decisions that put several accounts worth more than $200,000 at risk. A day later, she came back with another update. Dana Lattimore has been removed from her role. Officially, it is due to poor oversight. Unofficially, well, you know the rest. I nodded. I did know. Favoritism had always been a quiet crack she had just ignored how far it spread. And David, I asked, reassigned. Clara said, standard internship program. Different manager. He will be fine. A little embarrassed, but fine. In the following weeks, Apex onboarded 3 clients who requested me by name. 2 came directly from North River. One of them joked, we were waiting to see where you landed. Every conversation, every new handshake, every meeting where my work was acknowledged without hesitation settled something inside me that had been restless for years. When I left North River, I did not intend to punish anyone. I simply stepped away from a place that had decided my worth for me. The consequences that followed belonged to them, not to anything I did. On a quiet Friday afternoon, as I wrapped up a call, I caught my reflection in the darkened monitor. I looked calm, certain, free in a way I had not recognized until now. They once valued me at $1, but the moment I stopped trying to prove my worth, the world showed me exactly what it had been worth all along.